The first document that was adopted by the board is the first amendment to the trust indenture that was the bond issue in 2009, that it was for the approximately 23 million, okay, for the infrastructure. And it provides for the creation of a remedial expenditure account, okay? That account, certain funds will be put in there so that the bond company can take funds from the debt service reserve fund and put it into this remedial account, and it can be used to pay what they call remedial expenses, like taxes and legal fees related to defending the bonds in federal court. Okay, that's what the first thing does. The second thing is basically a renewal of the 2010 bond issue, because it comes due on May 27th. Mm-hmm. The bondholders, Lord Abbott has not decided whether they're going to renew those bonds or not as of today, because the process is a detailed process that they go through to obtain authorization to do that. But if they get that authorization, as of tonight, the second trust indenture, amendment to trust indenture that deals with the 2010 bonds, which is approximately $7 million in bonds, will be renewed if they decide to do it. Just be careful not to say that it is being renewed. Gotcha. Because it may not be. I don't want you or anyone else to eat crow, so to speak. But if they do that, it's authorized, and none of that will be signed, but it's authorized the chairman and the secretary to sign on behalf of the district another bond, another indenture, okay? I mean, technically the indenture is not the bond, but I'm just equating it because it's easier to explain. But they will be authorized to renew that loan, should Lord Abbott be willing to renew that loan between now and May 27th.
What ramifications are there if they decide not to renew that loan?
If they don't renew that bond, then they will elect to start their, what I would term, foreclosure proceedings with regard to recouping assets and that kind of thing. But I don't have any indication that they're going to do that at this point. But like I said, I will not know until sometime between now and May 27th.
Well,
they would not have us. They would not have us.
If they don't renew the bond, doesn't mean that they're going to foreclose on the project. They could elect to not renew the bond and then just execute a forbearance saying you're in default, but at this point we're not going to foreclose on you if you do X, Y, and Z, which is typical in today's development real estate environment, to obtain forbearance. So non-renewal doesn't necessarily mean foreclosure. But your non-renewal could be you're a step closer, obviously.
But there is no default of any kind on any of the bonds right now. Mm-hmm. And if it is renewed, there is no default on any of the bonds. All right? What it does is allow more time to see if something is going to happen with regard to the development, and see if there will be revenues. And then if there are revenues, that's worth more to them than anything else that they might, any other remedy that they might have.
But at this point, pending a renewal of the bond, if the bond is renewed, there will be no payments that are due, or any out-of-pocket money that anybody will have to come up with to pay the bond company. This will just be
the first payment on the bond is due May 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
for the second
bond issue in 2010. Okay, and that was designed to be a short-term bond issue, and if you recall, that bond issue allowed the bondholders, the district actually funded the district actually buying the 54 or so acres of property in the infrastructure when it was just a long-term lease. Right. So that's what funded the actual purchase of that land. So that's essentially what it is. I mean, you've got a renewing a note essentially, and you have them being able to authorizing the use of reserve funds to pay some current expenses like legal expenses and taxes that are owed.
How long will the remaining reserve fund pay the first bond?
I do not know.
With the collateral.
Now, wait a minute. The first bond.
I'll answer that question for you. The payments through November 2011 are covered by reserves under the original bond issue, under the 2009 series. So the 2009 series would be, barring any additional payments from the project or from the district, would be in default on their May, I believe they're dated, they're on a May 1, November 1 pay date. So the bonds would go into payment default on May the 1st, 2012.
Okay.
And Lord Abbott retains the collateral of the future sewage stuff. Is that part of this still too?
Well, the collateral goes through the improvement district as a part of the pledge on the bonds. You know, just as some security with regard to the certain real property that includes that sewage system that was purchased last summer from the developer. So, simply put, yes.
Gary, a lot of our readers and viewers probably don't understand. I know I don't have the time because it's a very complex matter. Could you or one of these gentlemen perhaps explain exactly what the 99B is and you know, what is this? Because when you talk about country crossing, they think about country crossing as its own little entity, and you know.
Well, there are the Cooperative District, and Chuck, you can. I'm just going to take a shot at it. Is like a small municipality in the sense that it can assess fees and build infrastructure. So the district's role was to build public infrastructure, parking lots, you know, and if you look at the cutouts of the property is owned by, you know, if you go to the tax maps, you'll see that it's that sewage treatment, all the things that a city would provide its residents, okay? It's also like an industrial development board in that it is a vehicle through which tax-free bonds can be done for purposes of public infrastructure. And that's the horizontal, that's the, you know, the vertical stuff, the buildings that are out there, everything that is vertical except for the sewage treatment is, you know, not in the district's bond issue or what they've done. What they've done is done roads, streets, sewer, water, those kinds of things.
Does the boxer, Mr. Mayweather, does he still have a legal hold on any of this bond money?
I do not know. No, he does not have a hold on any bond money that I know of. Now, I've not been a party to those proceedings, but from my understanding, it's not on the bond monies, because the bond monies have been expended. So.
There's been a lot of rumors coming around Facebook and other places today around the social media that Country Crossing will reopen in about 10 days. Certain venues of Country Crossing will reopen, restaurants, the bed and breakfast and those things. So y'all have any knowledge of those things happening?
The first knowledge I had of that, in terms of this 10-day thing, I know that there's been a lot going on to explore what options are available down there, but what I heard when I came in here was that Ricky Stokes had broken that it was going to open in 10 days. Other than that, I don't have any knowledge of that. Okay.
And that would be pretty much outside the purview of the
It's not the
improvement
district.
It's not the district. It has nothing to do with the district.
Well, if it opens and
it's within the
revenues,
district.
yeah, there are revenues on the fees, you know, that are similar to the sales tax. You know, there are fees that are similar to ad valorem tax.
But it's not like the district is going to open up these facilities.
No, the district and the developer are completely separate. Okay, it would be like a developer developing something within a small municipality. The municipality is there with the public infrastructure, and in here it's fees and taxes in the nature of fees. Okay, but that's that kind of relationship. If you think city and some other type of economic development, that's the relationship between the district and
But you do collect some fees off the non-gaming part of
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
If you've gone to Bass Pro Shops in Montgomery, you'll go through and you'll see the sales tax, and then you'll see something that looks like a sales tax, but it's not. It's a fee. So everything that's bought, every ticket that's sold, those kinds of things all have a fee, which is, but it looks for all the world like a tax, but because districts weren't authorized to tax, they call them fees.
So the district could see some some revenue from the restaurants, the RV park, the bed and breakfast, and entertainment?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
There's 4.5% sales fee, 4.5% lodging fee.
Thank you.
Good.